right. One of these days, I got it right. Dave from Boogie with the Bull, Randy Rhodes with us as usual, our co-host and partner in crime. And the live chat is open on the Dave Glovin Facebook page and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Today, I made Randy Rhodes big because I wanted to make Randy Rhodes big. But I can do this.
I got a big head.
I can do this and make a sequel.
There you
How's
go.
that? Okay. And,
So share the screen. I'll show you guys what I have a work in progress to get my own show started. So if you can share the screen, I'll show you what I got started.
did you send it to me?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I have to go. That's right, you did. There it is. There it is.
That's it so far. We're gonna be adding some stuff into it, but I like that. Now, someone's been helping, so I kind of like the zippy tone to it. But today is Red Shirt Friday.
Red Shirt Friday.
And I hope you folks by now know what that means, what all it entails. It entails the fact that we give honor and respect to the men and women who are wearing a military uniform and who are out there on the front lines or the back lines, doing the thing. You don't have to be a person to respect if you're, carrying a rifle or a bazooka or whatever the weapons are nowadays into like a combat zone. You could be that same guy who is slicing potatoes for lunch that day, or cleaning the pots and pans after the meals are served. You could be the guy that the general walked by, didn't like your face and said, "I want you to paint my flowers, a different color," or dig that hole and fill it up and then dig it back up and put the dirt over there. Those are things they do to build you up to take the orders. But at least we don't have it quite the way the Russians do. I don't know if you saw it, Dave, but there was an American man and his wife and 3 lovely daughters. And I'm not sure if it was under the influence of the husband, but the wife and the husband both agreed that they hated America so much that we're going to relocate to Russia. Now, what he did to boost the time frame to move to Russia was he agreed to join the military. And that's what he did. And guess what happened almost a week after he went to the front line? He was killed.
Ouch.
And now the wife is there. She has no income because since he's dead, they don't have like an insurance policy like we do. If you die in combat, your family gets X number of dollars for
Mr. Putin is probably not going to send her back.
No, and the United States rightfully should say, you decided to give up your citizenship to go to Russia, you're stuck. So, I mean, it's a lovely family. I mean, I hate to think what's going to happen to the mom and the 3 daughters. I really do.
Well, I don't want to call it stupid because if you do something that you believe in, it's not necessarily stupid. Like, take Rosie O'Donnell, moves to Ireland because she doesn't want to be involved with President Trump. And then she posts all over the internet, she's now on a sex strike until President Trump
who cares?
Is no longer president. Right. And my answer to it was, from Donald Trump's point of view, well, can you name someone that wanted to with you because you're not looking for men anyway? So, if you're finding ladies who don't like Trump, good luck. But you move to Ireland, and like you said, with this lady in Russia, she moved to Ireland, and now you have to follow the Irish rules, and they're not happy with what she's doing there. Or Ellen DeGeneres, who moved to England and is now, I guess, giving up the $30 million farm. And it has not yet been disclosed where she is going. These same kind of things. I wonder, though, if it all is anyone saying Putin and Russia was involved in any of this. The day will come when Putin has a press conference and says, you know what? I have not been involved. I have never been involved. You have used my name. You have soiled my reputation. I have never been involved. It was a hoax. But anyway, my classic line to you. What do you got this morning?
There's been a lot of talk about the presidential powers. How much power does a president actually have and wield, and when can he make use of it? Right now, the big discussion is with the auto pen and who was in control of it and so forth. And the 2016 election with Biden, with Obama, and what influence did he have? So, Congress is going after Obama for treason, and we're going after Biden, or at least the people who worked around him, for falsifying the use of the auto pen to sign off all this stuff. So, right now we have a situation where two of our allies are at war. Thailand and Cambodia. They're fighting each other again. And I just saw where Russia took one hell of a hit by the Ukrainians. And took a huge loss. I didn't get a chance to look into how much, what I think it's personnel or equipment, but I just saw a bit before we went live here that Russia got hit pretty hard. So there still are. You got China and and all these possibilities of war. So what power does Trump have? What can Trump do? If he really wanted to do a knee-jerk reaction, and he is the commander-in-chief, so he's, according to the Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1, he is the commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy of the United States and the militia, and so forth. But then it goes on to, we're going to restrict what you can do. If you want to go to war, you got to go to Congress first, and they have to take a vote. And they have to decide if the situation warrants the United States getting involved in war. So that's why Congress keeps saying, Trump, you can't take us to war. We have to take a vote on it. And Trump's saying, no, he's like commander-in-chief. I can do whatever I want. He could get us into a situation where we're forced into a war, right? And but I don't think he wants to. But at the same time, we have, not rights. We have bills that we've signed with other countries saying that we will come to your defense if shit hits the fan. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you probably can correct me. I think Trump can take us into a military situation on a limited basis, just to get our foot on the ground and to make our power seen. And you know what?
And only for a limited amount of time. He can't. You're 100% right. He can't take us to war, but he can take us pretty dang close. And if you look at the Democrat side, some of them are actually saying he's doing what he needs to do for the United States right now. Nancy Pelosi has come out of the closet and said he's doing what he needs to do. So as far as she is concerned, impeachment should be off the table in the House. I know you spit, but you watch these videos from YouTube, and it's actually really her, and it's really her speaking. It's not a United Spot or a Spot 101 parody. It's actually her speaking, and she didn't really look like she wanted to be there, but she said he's doing what a president needs to do. obviously she wasn't happy with what he was doing, but he's doing what he needs to do. I didn't listen to Chuck Schumer's portion because Chuck Schumer is, he's wrong by breathing every morning. So, you know, uh, his 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. Just like I know he ticked off Democrats by making himself chairman of the Kennedy Center board, which he is allowed to do. And he then appointed an entire board. The entire board elected him chairman. So he followed the rules. Then he took the proposal to rename the Kennedy Opera Theater, to the First Lady Melania Trump Opera Theater, which he is totally legal to do. I checked it several different ways, but he has to send it to Congress. It will be a straight line party Republican vote attached to a bunch of other straight line Republican votes that will come up later in the session. And he, of course, will sign it into law before he leaves the White House.
Why do you?
People should just leave him alone to do his dang job. And, that's why we have representation in senators. If you don't like what he's going to do, vote against it. If Republicans like what he's going to do, they'll vote in favor of it. And J.D. Vance may be needed to break a tie if it goes a tie in the Senate. But
why do you think Trump sent his own personal lawyer to interview Ghislaine Maxwell? Do you think he sent him? Let me do a follow-up question. Do you think he sent him there just in case she has something that would show that Trump was there so his trial lawyer can cover it up?
Well, from what I read with the Justice Department lawyers there, she answered every question they asked. She did not take the Fifth Amendment on anything. She did not waive from anything. She told them everything. What that means, I don't really know. Is she looking to reduce her 20-year sentence to time served? Is she looking for immunity? I don't think any of us know because we weren't there, so we didn't hear what they asked her. We just read that she answered everything like a good doobie. The funny thing is, the picture of her didn't look anything like her, other than maybe she lost some weight while she was in prison, and she changed her hairstyle. So that will be some something on the side that people will bring up. But from Madam Maxwell's point of view, I'm wondering if she realizes she can be and probably could be the scapegoat because Jeffrey Epstein isn't here to answer for everything. And his answers would probably do as much as he can to incriminate her. But go ahead.
I'm reading something now that it looks like Trump recently exchanged a U.S. Marine to, if I'm reading it correctly, he exchanged a U.S. Marine to Venezuela because he was charged with killing 3 people in Venezuela. And then the guy escaped to another country and I guess came back to the United States and we picked him up. But he exchanged him in exchange for 10 Americans who the Venezuelans held against their will for stupid stuff, as well as the release of 250 Venezuelan men. So we gave one guy, a murderer, in exchange for 10 Americans who were arrested, wrongfully, supposedly arrested in Venezuela. And Venezuela was getting 250 people released back to their country. So I don't know. I mean, does that sound like a fair exchange? One murderer for 10 Americans who claimed they were arrested against their will for some stupid shit? I guess so.
It, I want to say yes, but doesn't it make you think that maybe the American was in fact guilty of whatever Venezuela held him
Well,
for?
we
And
had we
in the
had the Marine in our custody who murdered
okay,
three in Venezuela.
okay,
So we gave Venezuela the
so
U.S. Marine in exchange for 10 Americans they had that they arrested for stupid shit.
right, right. So in the game of war, wouldn't you think that's a fair because gives it gives the guy who is guilty internationally to Venezuela, whether or not that's a good move. No, it probably isn't because the guy's probably going to be in a bad way and leave this planet. Uh, so I don't really know. It goes along with my commentary a lot, which is war is kind of outdated. People don't sit and talk and try to work things out. We just bomb the hell out of each other. And then we get a ceasefire and we bomb the hell out of each other. And then we end up going back to war. So
I know we all have pets, and
okay.
I have 7 cats, and well, actually I have 4 cats. My daughter has 3 and a doggy. I know you have doggies and cats as well.
Our dog and cat are no longer with us,
Oh,
but the
you,
family, which includes us, have six six assorted animals. So there's always an animal to there's always a dog to make up for it, and yeah,
okay, so the reason why I bring it up is that this woman in Seattle is suing the Sky Angels, Navy Blue Angels, for what she calls acoustic torture of her cat. That every time they fly overhead or do whatever they do that's close to her house, her kitty cat suffers from the sound that the jets make. And
it's a hard thing. I'm sorry I cut you off. It's a hard thing to take to court because you understand that they are in an area and they're doing practice runs, which makes it very loud, which bothers your animals, but then they go away once the show is done. So what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, the cat, on its own has supposedly heart, heart illness, so it makes it harder on the cat. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, I guess it goes back to who was there first, the military base or her moving into Seattle. I mean, it boils down to it's like the other day when you were having technical problems, and when William and I went on with the show, we kept getting interrupted by the airplanes overhead.
Yep.
So I guess where he's lived right now must be near an airport.
He is, and we're in the flight path to Jacksonville Naval Air Station, as well as, depending on how a plane comes in, the flight path to Jacksonville International Airport. But the international airport, those planes are usually up pretty high and not as often flying over us. The planes going into the Air Force Base, that happens whenever. I'm kind of used to it because I grew up living in California in the flight path of Moffett Field, although they called it something else, but Moffett Field, which was the base for the P-3 Orion sub-searchers, which went out on a regular basis. So, we heard it all the time. I'm sorry that my mic or your mic or anyone who was a guest, their mic picking it up because the truth is these mics are just too dang sensitive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so, but keep in mind too, if you ever get a chance, a lot of the microphones in the settings on your computer, you had the ability to
Right,
activate the sound culture. I mean, there's a word for it,
right.
but you actually can turn your microphone into
You
where
can't.
it will ignore certain sounds and levels of sound, stuff like that too.
You can, but most people that are doing this in hourly kind of follow putting that computer and camera and built-in mic in front of their face and doing what they do and not really worrying about the technical end as as we do. And maybe maybe unfortunately we have to start. Or everyone has to start. Make sure before you go live that all your settings are right. My headphones acted up this morning again. I don't know why. They have a 90% charge, which is fine to do a broadcast, but a lot of other people don't wear them during a broadcast. So I guess that's where I will go. Last rights were given to the Windows 11 Pro laptop yesterday. I spilled so much coffee on it yesterday that it cannot be fixed. And then on top of that, the tech that I spoke to tried to convince me that the wrong power supply was in the box when I dropped it off. That's not true. But anyway, it suffered last rights, which is why my wife Donna has come to bat. And for broadcasts only, I have permission to use her Chromebook as long as I don't change anything, don't do anything. I did do one thing, and then I explained it to her because I brought Chrome 135 up to Chrome 137, which means that I'm not as wavy as I was the last time that we did a broadcast. Chromebooks are not perfect. I know everybody would like to be on IBMs. That's why I made the move to an IBM, but we're here on a Chromebook, and you know, everybody has to do what they have to do. But anyway,
Absolutely.
what do you got?
So, you know how everyone is saying about, uh, how were the pyramids built? Well, the pyramids are built with thousands upon thousands of slaves
Yep.
hauling these stones from a quarry supposedly close by, and somehow they managed to cut them into perfect squares and
Mhm.
lift them up on top of each other to get to the very tippy top, and they have all these tunnels inside and secret rooms where they kept their gold and all this other bullshit kind of stuff. But now they got proof, scientific proof that they may have had some help. They're not saying where the help came from, but they said, we don't think they use slave labor to haul those stones on top. We think they use hydraulic power. And
Hydraulic
I won't show it because it's several minutes long, but I will, break it down to where they said that, and I don't know how the water came from, but they said that they made use of water to make these hydraulic lifts work. So where they used the water was powered, like a dam, to where you put the
Yep.
stone onto the lift lifts up, the hydraulics, and it moves, and da, 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 and that's how they built these pyramids. So I'm asking myself, okay, so where the hell did they get the idea to build hydraulics and get to know how that all works, and where the hell did they get all that water? I still see they had help from someone up there, right?
Yeah, and
Um,
I said before also that I don't think they were in fact built here. I think they were space vehicles that landed where they are, and when it was time, or if it was time, the three of them would leave again. Now I don't know
the
if
Stargate theory.
right, but I don't know if pyramids that were built thousands of years ago could in fact take off and leave again, but I don't know.
I think the TV series, actually the movie,
Stargate.
the movie itself, the Stargate movie itself. If you ever watch it, it's a really good movie, and the series itself is phenomenal. If you're a sci-fi kind of person, but in the movie, the Egyptian-like character who was like multiple thousands of years old and came down in his ship that happens to be when it flies in space, it has the primary part of the ship is a pyramid with a circular something attached to it, and that's how it gets its motor and how so once it got to Earth, the pyramid part separates and came down and settled in the deserts of Egypt. Now, when shit hit the fan for him, he knew that his time was up. He break the hell out of Dodge. His ship part was able to separate from the shell of the pyramid that we see today. So
That could
using Stargate's theorem that what we see today was the outside shell of the actual spacecraft. So, anyways, but who knows?
Ask Elon Musk about that.
But yeah, there you go. One of these days, he's going to head to Mars. But I want to share this with you. Here we are talking about. I always love to talk about archaeology and how archaeology is always finding stuff, right? And not only are they finding stuff from old and beyond, they are finding stuff that's happening right now. So forgive the little interim of this cartoon.
Oh, that's one of my. That is.
But
actually one of my favorites. But I'll stop talking.
So what's happening right now is that Africa is splitting. Okay, it's pulling itself apart, and I'm going to play only a couple minutes of this because it's a long newscast about it. But watch what happens here. This is kind of like wow. Okay. Get the audio going here.
Well, Mother Nature is pulling off her own version of continental reshuffling, and this time it's happening right before our eyes. Welcome to the incredible story of how Africa is literally breaking apart right before our eyes. In a geological event that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, the African continent is slowly but surely splitting into two. This isn't the work of fictional prehistoric squirrels or movie magic. It's a real ongoing process that's reshaping our planet's geography. Today we're diving into this fascinating phenomenon. Stay tuned to learn all about how Africa is splitting into two continents. Africa's tectonic drama. To comprehend the incredible phenomenon of Africa potentially splitting in two, we must first set the stage by understanding the basics of plate tectonics. Our planet's outer layer, the lithosphere, is composed of several large plates that float atop the semi-fluid mantle beneath. These plates are in constant, albeit slow, motion, moving at speeds comparable to the growth of your fingernails. The African continent, long thought to sit atop a single tectonic plate, is now understood to be undergoing a dramatic change. Evidence suggests that this massive landmass is slowly breaking apart along what geologists call the East African Rift System, EARS, 2,174 miles, from the Red Sea in the north to Mozambique in the southeast.
Split it literally
the east
in half. And I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen. Completely split in my lifetime. But just the fact that when you think about this planet, okay, and not too far, below our feet is molten lava, right? Like what's happening right now, in Hawaii, so forth. The volcanoes are still erupting, still changing. Wow, it's amazing how we're able to live on this planet. First off, without floating off into space because of gravity, right?
Yep.
But we have this invisible shield that surrounds our entire planet, which keeps in the oxygen. And when you start thinking about what it takes to live on this planet, it's mind blowing.
I think it is the opposite, that we existed and or coexisted with all of the other planets, and then one by one, maybe because it might have been the choice of God, I don't know, the creator, uh, one by one they cease to exist, and maybe one by one they will be brought back.
I missed that. Say it again.
I think that in the beginning there was life on all of the
Oh,
planets,
okay.
and then one by one, only the strongest one, which I guess maybe was Earth, survived. And now there might be a move to re-inhabit and bring back the others. It's an interesting subject to follow. Also, fault lines, which are part of
Yeah.
plating, are a very interesting thing to look at, in the sense that there are beliefs that California, when the big earthquake comes, will break off and be independent. Well, break off and be its own country.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Congress has been having ongoing. I'm not sure they still are, but because of my personal search feeds on the computer, uh, different things pop up. Hey, you might be interested in this, Randy. You might be
Yeah.
interested in this. And just like yesterday, one of my previous clients reached out to me. Hey, Randy, you said that was related to Davy Crockett. Could I have that information again? And next thing you know, it's this morning I wake up and here's this article on my news feed about Davy Crockett. How did that happen? But uh, the whole idea of Congress has been, and like I said, I'm not sure they still are, have been having witnesses come in, experts come in to testify to what they know about the uh, spacecraft, the aliens, the living and dead that supposedly are in our possession, the technology that we're using, and so forth, and where's it all coming from. And these guys are testifying that it is real. We have these ships. We have these biological. We have these aliens in our possession.
We
I,
probably do.
and if you need to have more information, we need to go into a what they call it, a skiff, and talk more in depth.
Well, they say that movies and TV shows bring us forward. So if you look at the Men in Black movies, there's one scene where the two of them go into a room that has a big monitor broken down to like 1 inch monitors in between, and Will Robinson asks Tommy Lee Jones, "What is this?" And he's told, "This is where we monitor all of the resident aliens on the planet at any one time." And you know what? It's probably real somewhere. It may not be two. It may be two aliens operating the 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 the, the facility, but it's probably real. Uh,
And you have to, when you look at our, let's just take our military aircraft, okay? The way they're shaped. Look at that and think, no, there's no way in hell things going.
I'm sorry the dogs are going. Let me turn my mic off while you speak.
You look at the aircraft of the military, and you look at the way they're designed, the body, its shape, the wings, and so forth. And when you look at it, there's no way in hell that thing's going to fly, because initially the planes were designed based on a bird and the bird's wings and the tail feathers and how everything worked in conjunction to what so they can fly and swoop and so forth.
Yep.
So that's how they initially designed our aircrafts,
Mhm.
right? The Wright brothers are a big example of that. But now we have these aircraft that obviously are not designed after a bird. Okay. So the design after something, someone had to get the idea on how to build this, and I think it's coming from the fact that we have in our possession spacecraft of various uh, origins, and we are taking their technology and we're putting it into our own. Um, and it just, it makes me wonder if we have these spaceships in our possession. Let's say, let's say I find it hard to believe that I know Michael Anthony had his take on this. Michael Anthony said that some of these spacecraft that we have in our possession that crashed on our planet were the pilots, the alien pilots inside that ship. They were told, this is a one-way trip for you guys. You're going to take this ship, you're going to crash it, not too terribly hard, but so you can leave it behind for the humans to get the technology. Yeah, you might die in the process. Yeah, you might become a prisoner, but shit hits fan and you guys are along the totem pole. And that's where that's how Michael Anthony believes. He believes some of the ships came here and they crashed because they were told to crash. And I tend to agree with him because I'm thinking to myself, these guys flew these ships how many thousands of star years from where they originated to our planet just to crash. So I think Michael might be onto something where he's saying these ships are actually crashing. So my point is, okay, so we got this ship that crashed. Why can't we make enough repairs on a damn thing to fly it back into space? Why is it that all our ships right now can't break that threshold to get back into space like we did with the Apollo missions? I mean,
well, maybe that's what's telling them, and it's not so much crashing when the next generation of them come. It's the next generation coming and landing and being, in theory, torn apart and taught how it works. Yeah. And the big question is, are they going to come to the United States only and then expect us to disseminate the information, or are they going to go to everyone, or are they just going to take us over and say, hey, this is our technology, we're bringing it here, this is what you get?
I don't know about that, but so my other thought pattern is, so these alien ships come and we shoot them down. Why the hell we shoot them down? Why don't we say, hey, like they do now when a Russian ship, a fighter plane, gets too close to our border, or actually even crosses into our territory. An American fighter pilot comes in and says, "This is Colonel Randall Rhodes, and that's the same fighter pilot. I'm flying right behind you. Either you get back out to where you belong, or I'm going to shoot your ass down." Give them the choice. Why can't we do that? Why must we shoot down if that's what's happening? Shoot down these alien aircraft because we want the technology. So you just blew it the hell up, and we'll have the pieces left over. Who knows? Maybe we do have the ships that we're actually, some of these ships we see flying around, that we know are for real. Maybe we are in some of those ships we're flying around. Maybe for.
But if that's true, are they giving some technology? Excuse my mouth for getting in the way of speaking. Are they giving some technology to one country and some technology to another country? So China was flying weather balloons that obviously were probably spying because of where they went, but were they given that technology to play with because it works, while we have been playing with more advanced technology of beings and spaceships and that kind of stuff? And when does it become just for the better of us?
Well, I don't. I know what I don't. If there is a Hold on a second, guys.
Hierarchy.
Something just got delivered to my house. Hold that thought. Something just got delivered. I'm going upstairs and get it.
Okay. So I will talk amongst ourselves while my good friend Randy is gone. We have returned, as I said earlier, and we're still here, and we invite people to join us. And I learned this morning that part of the problem with sending links is not sending links from any equipment on my desk. I guess it is sending links from the same equipment that has Restream running on it. So we sent Randy a link from like I said again, my wife's Chromebook. We sent it to him on Messenger, and it worked just fine. So we will have to get up a little bit earlier and bring in Messenger and make sure that it works and it does what it's supposed to do, and then get rid of it after we're done. But anybody is welcome to be on the Boogie with the Bull broadcast. They're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. and they're on Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm not sure, and I've always said this, I'm not sure if the 10 a.m.s will last very long. They all depend on Randy's schedule because I want Randy to be a part of them. So it kind of depends on his availability with his genealogy, which is very important. Our Roads Lead to Home Genealogy, the group. You can message Colonel Randall Rhodes, and he will tell you all of what you need to know as well as what you want to know and provide it to you. And hopefully you will want him to continue. It took a long time, and I've made him throw it all away before, rebuild it several times. But he did find King Saul, who was the 24-hour king of Poland. He had the option to stay, I guess, and people were going to try their best to have him stay, but he didn't want to. He wanted to go back to being a rabbi full time. There's a link to King David, which I haven't really asked Randy to push because I haven't really asked him to push, but I really would like him to at some point. So, he does in fact find things. Not as interesting as finding the Mayflower Madam living in New York was in fact related to the Mayflower Madam on the ship, who both of them were related to someone else. And, not those kind of things, or finding out that you're related to celebrities, or finding out that Jen Woodruff really is a princess.
Yeah.
But
every now and then someone a client of mine, he holds the rank of general for the Gray Ghost. He's sent me three people so far for new clients. So he is very pleased with all the Confederate ancestors that I've been finding for him. In fact, he's created a book that he's putting all the information into to pass down to his children. But back to what we were talking about, you're saying about if the aliens are truly providing technology, is it just to us or is it to other countries? The way I look at it is that from what I can see in the newsreels, the United States right now is the only country that I can tell that's coming out with these super sophisticated weapons, right? With
right.
the various jet fighters, the way they're shaped. I just saw this freaking gigantic freaking helicopter. I mean, this thing is like a Black Hawk on steroids.
The next generation, it looks crazy.
When it lifts off, it kind of like everything folds inside of it and becomes this,
And the B, have you seen the B-2 bomber?
So, but then you have North Korea, who was spouting, "Hey, we just finished construction of our beautiful new battleship. We're going to launch it. And what do? They release the straps on it, and the thing tips over on its side and sinks. And they just
Now, our Navy would never
and they
have
just
done that.
recently, got it back out of the water and they're making repairs to make it functional again. And like you said, you have China with freaking balloons, to do these spying ones. Well, how sophisticated is that?
Well, maybe in the case of Kim Jong's boat that flipped over with the North Korean Navy, maybe their goal was to get the North Korean Navy and our Navy to work together on something, and then get other countries to basically do the same thing. And I know it sounds crazy, but unite us all.
Yeah.
Unite us all. I mean, everybody's going to go and be their own whatever.
Okay, so look at China. The way they have thousands of people in lockup, and they're taking their body parts to give to other people. It's almost like that particular nation is feeding upon itself. And speaking of. I've seen.
Well, if you
I've seen some videos of.
Can we take something?
But then here's this other aspect of life. I get these videos, and I have to think that some of it has to be real of life after death experiences, and because there's proof that one of these particular individuals died and brought back, they were able to tell their loved ones and the doctors, I saw what you're doing. What do you mean? I saw you doing this, and this. I saw her doing that. I saw her. And it's like, how could you? Because you were dead for like 8 minutes. So is there something inside of us that is it's like a spirit or some type of entity that's inside of us, and that when we die, it has an opportunity to go to where it's supposed to, or go down where it's not supposed to, or it gets stuck here.
My father used to say, this is just a vessel for while you are here, because you need the vessel. But maybe we need to get back to, we don't need the vessel. We just need the spirit or whatever. And there are amazing things that the spirit can do, signal and system and frequencies and all that stuff that a lot of people don't believe in, and a lot of people
I was watching this video of the newscast. It was an actual 100% bona fide newscast. And they're doing this story about this dude. I don't know what city or state it was in. But the storyline was that this guy has the ability to pray, and these spacecraft comes to him when he prays. And it caught enough of the attention that this news channel said, you know what? We're going to go out there. We're going to make a mockery of this guy. We're going to make fun. We're going to prove this guy is an idiot, right? So while they're on camera, all right, this guy is saying, these, biblical words and so forth, right? And within a very short period of time of the camera crew filming, holy shit, here comes 3 spacecraft flying directly overhead. These news guys went absolutely freak-so. Like, oh my God, there they are. There they are. And it's right there on camera. And they came almost at his beckoning.
And they can't.
And there's no explanation for it.
And I think that's where legacy media, mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, that's where they are. They can't explain things that are happening, because they don't want to, because they're part of it, and B, they just don't have an understanding of what
Just
it
give me a moment
is.
here.
Why can't we just share the knowledge, share the wealth, not necessarily move to a socialistic society, but think of things that we could do. I mean, I sit here with Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's, and you know, it's. I always joke it's going to get better. I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Uh, but other people go through the same kind of stuff every day. You know, uh, taking
Okay,
a
here we
pill
go.
for
Here
the
we
rest of
go.
your life is yeah. Okay,
Okay,
go
hold
ahead.
on.
I'm going to shut up now. Oh, wait a minute. I need to be ready for
Okay,
you to
hold
send
on.
it.
Ba ba ba
Okay.
boo, ba da da ba boo. Ba 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 boo.
We are amateurs. We are doing
Hey, we're not amateurs. We are professionals with mistakes.
Reporter Mike
That's true.
Delastrito to get the real story. But what he found shocked everyone and could leave you wondering, are UFOs real?
And forget the short-term fixes and diets that don't work. Kathy Ray has a plan for every lifestyle.
Breaking news.
I'm Trisha Keene.
And I'm Steve Wolf. Now,
We sent Action News reporter Mike Delastrito to check it out. Mike?
All right, guys, just listen up here. This guy says the Old Testament, written in Hebrew, taught him how to summon UFOs. All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing it for 25 years, keeping all of it secret until now.
These beings are here. They're here. They're just sitting right up there.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. We picked the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts. Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think? I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now. So we took him up on his offer, and we scanned the skies. Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, oh Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I see something straight up. Oh, brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it.
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
It's moving pretty fast.
It's going to Nellis Air Force Base. It wants to be seen.
We called Nellis to see what these things might be. Guess what? They didn't call us back. But this thing started coming back toward us.
It's coming toward us now, I think.
What?
See, it's coming up toward us.
Whoa, man! Oh, hallelujah!
Then, a few seconds later, it disappeared.
It's going back up in space.
Prophet Yahweh isn't concerned. He says it'll be back.
And then later on in the show, it does come back. So it's like, wow.
I do want to drop in that fair use and all that garbage that goes along with it, and it is what it is.
Yeah. So how does this happen? I mean, the news happened live on live TV.
Yep.
Who knows?
The only thing with it was I didn't care for the label of prophet.
Yeah.
To the gentleman. I mean, maybe he's one of them. Maybe he's chosen to do it. I don't know. But, he's someone who has the information, and the information seems to be legit. Or he showed it to a TV station, and it appeared to be legit. And the TV station appeared to think it was legit. But then, of course, they're going to do something to, make you think it wasn't legit. It was something else. I mean, I don't know. And obviously, if it is something else, they presented themselves to us. They didn't have to do that. We asked for them to come, and they did what they did. I mean,
because like I said later on in the broadcast, they come back again.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I mean,
yeah.
Is this particular person one of them, and he's calling up to his family to come pay a visit? Who knows? But I'm sorry, I am a believer that there are aliens living on other planets. I'm not sure why we have not gotten to the level where we have our own spacecraft. We can fly into space. Are we, like you had mentioned before, a planet where the prisoners are sent to live out their lives?
Well, I think that's what I've always said. That's what I think Earth was. That as
but you would think then that there'd be
and prisoners. That's where we got sent to, and then over time maybe we took it over.
But you would think then that if this is a prisoner planet, okay, why are all the people physically the same? Because there's been evidence and suggestions that that the aliens are of different colors, different shapes, different whatever, the grays, the whites, the talls, the shorts, whatever. But they look totally different than what we do. So if this planet was to be designed as a prisoner planet, are the prisoners only coming from one alien planet? They're being brought here. Why do we all look the same?
I don't know that, other than being able to say, like I said, we have this vessel that we all think we need to have, and the next lesson may be that no, we're really all a sort of glob of energy, and we can break off that glob of energy and do whatever we need to do, and then reconnect to that glob of energy. And I do know other people that talk about that. Maybe I can get them to join us.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Michael Anthony say that he himself was had his own personal out-of-body experiences when he sleeps?
I'm not speaking for other people. I will give them as much time as they need to come and do it. And it may not be him. It may be other people that come forward and talk about it. To me, it's a fascinating topic, really. I mean, it's a fascinating topic. I don't know if it's better situated for a Tuesday night, and I don't know if it's better, or Thursday night, and I don't know if it's better situated for a lot of people on the panel, or as many as we can put on the panel to discuss it. But I don't know. I really don't know. And that brings up an interesting point to me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with all these broadcasts. There's times, there's 3 a.m. and 2 p.m, and then you're not leaving, but you're breaking into your own, like the South, and the one you talked about yesterday with me about education, and there's always been genealogy. So I don't know. It's an interesting time for, as I called it the other day, it's an interesting time for the Colonel Randall Rhodes Network, because people thought I was joking, because that's where we were, because that's unfortunate. Well, it's not unfortunately.
Hey, speak on Michael Anthony. Good morning, sir.
That's where we had to be at the time. I would like to have Michael on. We do great when he's in the live chat. And good morning to you, Michael. We appreciate you always giving us.
We were just talking about aliens, spacecraft, and so forth. And if I'm not mistaken,
connect them,
Michael. Didn't you at one point a while back mention that you were that you yourself experienced an out of body experience while you sleep? That you're able to your spirit, whatever, left your body and just went to places. If I'm not mistaken.
It's all been a planned genealogy for the club, and I would say that they can be. I mean, we had a drama teacher in high school who did the same kind of thing. He took us on one once. I don't know how far advanced it was, but it was absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, I know the idea. I know where it's going. I don't want to bring Michael on for anything that is hocus pocus, if that's what it is. But people, it's out there. And the good thing about Michael is that he does watch the broadcasts every once in a while and hears something and says something, and we connect dots. I wish we could have him on the broadcast, but that's between him and I do thank him for giving us dots to connect. Randy, go ahead.
Astral projection and remote view, and that's how my information comes to me. So okay, so I've heard of astral project and I've heard of remote viewing. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, weren't the American government and the Russian government working on individuals who had the ability to go into like a private room and was able to project themselves across vast distances, and were able to listen in on top secret meetings and take it back to their handlers?
As we wait for Michael to answer us.
I know, I'm pretty sure that was one of the new spy things they had going on with the astral view and remote view and so forth.
I wish we had 1 million people watching and waiting for the next comment from Michael to keep us.
Who was it? You or someone else who had that lady on? She's an English woman, and she had various experiences with aliens.
I believe it was Michael. And it was a lady, and I don't remember if you were part of that or not. I do remember Michael and the lady that I think you're talking about. Michael may remember her exact name. Michael says he can only do telephone now and 30 minutes at a shot. So we'll talk about that, or the two of you can, we'll talk about that. And if that is what we can get, that may be what we can get, because you are a fascinating person for giving people the dots to connect the dots. And if that's what we can get from you, then that's what we will get from you, my friend. Very happy to see you here tonight. Wait a minute. Let me kick the last one because I couldn't read it. Not everybody has handlers, but they do exist. Okay, I guess what the dots would be is that some people are the handlers themselves, are not necessarily the handlers, but I don't know the phrase that is right, where you give dots to the rest of us and then we connect the dots. Handlers may not be the right word. Overlords is not the right word. I don't really know what the right word is. I don't mean any respect to you in any way. I mean, excuse me. I don't mean any disrespect to you in any way this morning. I apologize for the dogs. Again, taking part in today's broadcast as well. And maybe one of these days we'll be lucky enough to get everything set and have 30 minutes. And wait a minute. I want you to think about how I write every morning, how it is possible that in the morning, waking up knowing that's how I work. My instincts do the rest. And that's going to lead to me saying that I guess, Michael, that maybe sleep is not all of what we crack it up to be. Maybe sleep is when all of this happens. Maybe sleep is when you leave the vessel, if that's what you want to call it, and you go off and get the knowledge and you come back to the vessel. I still don't know what the vessel has to be here. I mean, I guess the vessel has to be here because there's a matrix in front of us. And if there's a matrix in front of us, then there has to be a vessel or some other, some other tie-in to it all. And during one of the 30-minute exchanges, maybe you will give us that answer. I do have to check a time clock because I forgot to put one in the studio this morning, and I don't want to make Randy late. It's 11:17, so we're coming up on Randy is 11:30, and also I have to go pick up last rites and bring her home and figure out what we're going to do with it. It only came to me in thinking about it that it's time to either move on from any possibility and wait either for another opportunity or accept the opportunity that we have, which is using Donna's Chromebook when we can, until I'm in a position where maybe it's time to replace mine. And it is time to replace mine, but I had $100,000 for every time I said I'm going to go do something. I wouldn't be very rich anymore because I'd just go off and do it. And my wife Donna knows that, whether or not it is something that she likes. My wife Donna does know that I inherited my grandfather's $100,000 in your pocket is $100,000 waiting to be spent. But anyway, Randy, go ahead.
There are people in many countries in the 40s and 50s that were using mind technology capabilities. There are people like a medium, some call them a psychic. They're all similar to seeing. They do exist, but we also have more hoaxers than real deal. It's real people with capability. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you had the whole idea. Back in the day, they had the circus. The fat woman, the bearded woman. The guy sits on a stage and he says, "I know someone in the audience who has this," and they're just fakes. But I'm gonna ask you one question. I gotta get going. Okay. Why do you prefer the Chromebooks above like an HP computer or something like what I have? What makes it better?
They're easier. And I'm sure I'm sure Windows 10, Windows 11 are just as easy to use if you immerse yourself in them. But if you immerse yourself in a Chromebook, it's a little bit easier. You can get by very well with a little bit less memory if you can get lucky and find a 6 gigabyte Chromebook with a 15.6 or even a 15-inch screen. Your screen is a lot better. But I don't know. I mean, I've looked around and I've found things on Marketplace where something was listed for $90 that it just didn't. It seemed too good to be true in the Windows world. It just seemed too good to be true. But then maybe it was meant to be too good to be true. But I don't I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I don't know only because now I have Donna's Chromebook sitting in front of me, able to do broadcasts, and I learned more about things using my Chromebook, which actually made it a lot more enjoyable. So for the non-broadcast things, I can do things on my Chromebook, which is a lot older. But trying to move to a 4 or 6 gigabyte Chromebook with Chrome that still updates is the next step, only because in the Chromebook world, things exist for a lot less money than they do in the IBM world. So I don't really know.
It just seems to me, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems that for the past umpteen months, couple of years, whatever, that you have a lot of problems going live with the Chromebook,
At some point,
and so forth.
At some point, they give out.
Yeah,
and they're not designed to go on average more than 4 years, where a Windows 10, I mean, I can remember 20, 25, 30 years ago when my brother gave me a Windows 10 computer that he wasn't using, and it's still in the closet. I would grab it out and use it every once in a while if I could, but I can't. So, I mean, it's part of a real world. I don't really know what I want case at this point, jumping from one thing to another until I find the right thing. And for right now, thanks to Donna, I've found the right thing. But I really don't know any other than that. But it is a pleasure having you, Dr. Randy Rhodes. Yep. All roads lead to home genealogy, and I'm going to point it at you. Take it away and tell everybody about what you do and how you do it and how to get a hold of you.
No problem. Take care, Michael. It's great seeing you again. Maybe someday, old wounds can heal. So I'm getting very close to my max on how many people I want to take on board to do genealogy. I will take just, simple question and answers kind of scenarios. But I do a deep dive into your family history, and I find all kinds of stuff, not just, who you were or where you came from, but you'd be surprised how much of our lives are actually documented and placed into a newspaper somewhere across the United States. Some of my clients, I'm finding that their ancestors had criminal records that they weren't aware of, or that they were, someone, killed someone or got robbed, or so, in the process of finding all the stuff that normally comes with genealogy, which is, me going back to the very first roads, cutting into the woods. There's all kinds of stuff you can find of interest. Some scary, some not so scary, and people find that exciting to know that. My grandfather wasn't as perfect as he said he was. We found this about him, stuff like that. But I'm very cheap. All my clients are on Facebook. They all are willing to speak up for my behalf. So if you're interested, reach out to me, Colonel Randall Rhodes, or All Roads Lead Home Genealogy, and we can talk. And with that, Dave, I'm going to bail. You take care.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Let's see. Today is Friday, so I think we're actually done for the week in the broadcasting realm. Tomorrow is Saturday, and we cannot be here to do it. Sunday, we can't be here to do it. So Monday morning at 10 a.m., Randy and I are going to have a talk and just make sure that he is still available to do the 10 a.m.s Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a few other people that want to join as well, and try a few and see how they go. And then there's always Tuesday and Thursday, where my idea is to just have a conversation with a panel and a live chat and see how it goes. Other people, want to come on and tell you 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 until they're out of time. And I just don't want to do that anymore. I'm 63. I've told you that I got dementia and Parkinson's, and I'm sorry that I interrupt. I don't know if that's part of it because I did it before, but I don't tell you I will tell you what you need to do. I mean, I'll say that, we're all conservative Republicans and we need to go out in force and have rallies and show what we believe in and hope that triggers our elected representatives and senators to do their job and our president to go out and do his job. And but I don't tell you what to do. And if you think that I'm telling you what to do, please let me know, because I don't tell you. I try not to tell you what to do. I try to give you options. Like I've always said, bring a pencil and a pad of paper to a broadcast, and every time you hear me or a guest or Randy open their mouths and say something, write it down. At the end of the broadcast, cross out all the ones you don't agree with, circle the ones you do agree with, and if you don't agree with any of them, then get involved in the live chat or come on the broadcast and tell us from your point of view, and maybe you will do something. But my wife thinks I take as long as the broadcast to end a broadcast, so I'm going to get this where it needs to be and be ready to end the broadcast. I am going to say one more time, we are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we are live Tuesday, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern for the time being, and we will go from there. I want to thank Michael Anthony for jumping in and participating, and the best bet, as I said before, is to go to his page and look for his old broadcasts. You may be able to see them or say something on his page, and he will probably say something back. And that's the best that we all can do, is use communication to speak to each other and do it that way. And I've said about 4,247 times today. So I said it again. It's time to wrap it up and go home. So we give you double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is finally